Does that mean that we could potentially see some surge in the price of XRP?
For institutions, including banks, asset managers, including DLD. And we're doing that through the Ripple payment product, through XRP Ledger, through the RLUSD, so Ripple USD, and the custody. So we have those 4 products, and they are all using XRP.
Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video, we're going to be diving into this panel discussion that took place just a few days ago, depending on when you're watching this video breakdown, that had the head of Ripple X Partner Success, Aurélie Deleme, hopefully I'm pronouncing her name correctly, sitting in on this panel where she discussed and talked about multiple interesting things involving Ripple, XRP, and the XRPL, especially when it comes to real-world asset tokenization like real estate. So we're going to be tapping in and listening to some of the things that she had to say. But before we get into that, I want to just take your attention over here to this groundbreaking fundamental. I'm sure that other researchers and influencers out there are going to cover this before I can release this video breakdown out to you guys. But this was just so substantial to see. Why? Because it's just more physical evidence and proof that the researchers in the XRP community are not delusional, and doing our due diligence, some of the things that we and many of us have mentioned are actually starting to come into fruition, which is going to lead me to something that I've said that Aurélie on stage at the recent Dubai summit kind of solidified. So here, Brad Garlinghouse said, true to our long-standing compliance roots, Ripple is applying for a national bank charter from the OCC. If approved, we would have both state via NYDFS and federal oversight, a new and unique benchmark for trust in the stablecoin market. And I love here that 24 Hours Crypto, shout out to 24, said, incredible. All those delusional videos of me talking about Ripple becoming a bank came out to be true. Incredible. So I just find that so interesting because yet again, the researchers come out on top. The people that you guys should be paying attention to that are delivering you guys real good, valuable insights. It does take time. A lot of people lack patience and understanding of where this space is headed, but that is why you guys should be paying attention, which leads me over here to something that I said to you guys before we get into things that David Schwartz has said and what Aurélie on stage recently said at the Crypto Dubai Summit. I said to you guys on this post, smart people will not sell their XRP. They will learn how to lend, how to borrow, how to provide liquidity, how to yield farm, and how to liquid stake their XRP and pay themselves passive rewards with their crypto, in this case, XRP. So that is going to take me over here to the very first video clip, where if we go into roughly about 15 minutes and 37 seconds into this panel discussion, listen to what Aurélie here says about earning yield and how everyone will, and how Ripple is working proactively to be able to lend, okay, and borrow and things of that nature. So just listen here to what she says.
SPV, so you get direct ownership, and the benefit compared to TradFi is that you get 24/7 liquidity. Also, the other opportunity is access, democratization. So as a French person, if I want to get 5% on my cash, it's very difficult. For Americans, it's a bit easier. I'm quite convinced that very quick, we're going to all get like 5% on our cash in Dubai and elsewhere. And we're working quite actively with some of the players here, including some exchanges.
So I'll pause it there because it seems relatively delusional when an influencer with a large following is telling you guys lending, borrowing, providing liquidity, all these things are going to become the new normal with digital assets in the near future. But then you have a representative from Ripple directly sitting on stage telling you guys that we're all going to be able to earn 5% on our cash stable coins in the near future, and that Ripple is working towards this collective future. Well, then you see announcements like this from Brad Garlinghouse where they're literally working on getting their banking license. Okay, you cannot make this stuff up. It is inevitable. It is a part of this new digital transformation. And for those individuals that can't see it because they don't have the patience to wait while it all plays out, they're going to end up getting left behind because they're not doing the proper education and positioning themselves on the right side of history. So just make sure that you guys tapped in. That was just really great solidification as to some things that I previously said to you guys. The smart people will learn how to lend, will learn how to borrow, will learn how to provide liquidity, will learn how to be yield farmers. all with their digital assets, whether that's XRP or RLUSD or other digital assets in the ecosystem in the future. You do not want to exit the crypto ecosystem, considering that everything is coming on chain. So before we get into, this whole entire real world asset tokenization on the XRPL, I want to take your attention over here to this fundamental post that was released just a couple of days ago. This is back from May 26th, 2025. And this is going to go hand in hand with something that David Schwartz said on stage that he is excited about, and that is fractional ownership of real estate, real world asset tokenization. Okay. Dubai, a global hub of innovation and financial ambition, has once again set a new benchmark in real estate finance. The launch of PripgoMint, a government-backed platform powered by the XRP ledger, marks a pivotal shift toward tokenized real estate ownership. This initiative isn't merely a technological experiment, it's a strategic masterstroke that could redefine how assets are bought, sold, and held worldwide. For investors, this is a call to action. The future of real estate is digital, and the time to act is now. So taking you over here to the Apex 2025 summit that took place just a few days ago, this is David Schwartz telling you guys what he is excited about. Listen to the key vocabulary. He mentions real estate tokenization and fractional ownership.
Different sides of the spectrum come together.
I think that's one of the great things about Apex. Apex was originally envisioned as a developer get-together, primarily for people who were building to share, technical insights and talk about strategy for, future development. And then it expanded to include retail XRP holders and people who are just enthusiastic about the space and interested in the technology. And I think the big change this year is that you see representatives of institutions who are looking to bring things like tokenized real-world assets onto the blockchain. And I think that's that's the big thing that's going to catalyze that next wave of adoption, that real mass growth that we're all hoping to see.
Talk to me about the innovation that's happening. You're the co-creator of the chain, so I want to get into your head a little bit. What are some of the most important innovations that are happening on XRP Ledger?
I think that if we are going to see the sort of mass adoption of the blockchain space and DeFi, broadly speaking, it's going to have to provide the kind of financial services that ordinary people need. Collectibles are great, and speculation in very high risk assets is interesting. But, if you think about what people need a financial system for, they need things like loans, they need payments, they need sensible investments, retirement funds, all of those kinds of things. And I think the most exciting developments are the ones that are going to build those pieces that we need for the DeFi and blockchain space to really take a bite out of that multi-trillion-dollar TradFi market.
From a technical perspective, what needs to happen for us to get there?
I think the big thing is being able to support things like tokenized real-world assets, portfolios of loans, fractional ownership, all of the sort of complexities around the real-world holding of assets. If we can do that, then I think we can compete with TradFi, and that's that's a multi-trillion-dollar market. It's hundreds of times the current DeFi market.
You guys heard it directly from David Schwartz himself, that he said the next big wave of innovation is going to come with real world asset tokenization, fractional ownership. These are all things that you cannot make up, right? If you're a researcher, you're an advocate of XRP, you should probably be listening to one of the key developers of the XRP ledger. Okay. And he's telling you guys directly these things to your face. Well, if we go back over here again, remember the fundamental piece that I just shared with you guys. Dubai's land department has partnered with fintech firm Pripgo and infrastructure provider CTRL Alt to create PripgoMint, a platform that tokenizes property title deeds on the XRP ledger. Well, if we come back over here to this piece, the panel discussion that took place just a couple of days ago with this individual representative from Ripple, listen to what she says, where she confirms that this is all being built out on the XRP ledger. Take a second here and listen.
I'm going to give you an example. It's a reality. Ripple has been a huge bridge from day one, like more than 10 years ago, between TradFi and blockchain. Like institutional adoption, RWA, we've been talking about it as a buzzword, but now it's really happening. As an example, like the panel before was talking about real estate. I was almost fuming when I was hearing what was said about the value of tokenizing real estate. Dubai Land Department, so government entity in Dubai, just announced that they are tokenizing and choosing XRPL as the go-to blockchain to tokenize real estate.
Dubai is choosing XRPL as the go-to platform to tokenize real estate. You heard it directly from a Ripple representative that is not coming from some random influencer on the internet. Again, trying to tell you guys what we've been saying here as researchers is going to fan out. This is exactly why I try to tell you guys to pay attention, that the smart people will not sell their XRP. They will learn real world asset tokenization, how to lend, how to borrow, how to provide liquidity, how to liquid stake, all these things to pay yourself passive income and to stay in the crypto ecosystem. If you guys are not too familiar with what Crypto Mint is, definitely go check them out, right? The Dubai Land Department announced on Wednesday, this is back from June 11th post, that its second tokenized property on Crypto Mint platform, this platform in collaboration with the XRPL, was fully funded in a record-breaking 1 minute and 58 seconds, attracting 149 investors from 35 different nationalities, and was sold out right there on the spot. Then we have some other major announcements that actually just recently took place. This is from 2 hours ago. Another massive milestone for Crypto Mint. Yesterday, we paid out the first rental income for the first tokenized property on the blockchain in MENA. This is huge confirmation that all of this is taking place at a very rapid pace, and you do not want to miss out on this digital transformation because you were skeptical or because you just lacked understanding of some of the developments that are undergoing right now. Outside of price speculation, outside of Fibonacci, Moonboy, trading view projections that swarm the mainstream platforms like YouTube and Twitter, peel the curtain back and see how much bigger this is than just some high XRP price. Having the ability to put your liquidity to work, in this case XRP or RLUSD or some other digital asset, is extremely powerful. Taking you back to this lady, I'm going to play 2 more video clips. She even mentions that there are things that they cannot announce in this clip. We won't get to that part of the video breakdown, but here she goes on to confirm that they are for a fact utilizing XRP. And so this just puts to rest all the speculation from the naysayers that say they're never going to utilize XRP. This is verbal confirmation that they are for a fact utilizing XRP.
Is there any role for XRP over here? How would you separate that with the Ripples itself?
So Ripple is really like a digital asset infrastructure for institutions, including banks, asset managers, including DLD. And we're doing that through the Ripple payment product, through XRP Ledger, through the RLUSD, so Ripple USD, and the custody. So we have those 4 products, and they are all using XRP.
So you guys heard this directly from a Ripple representative. She mentioned 4 different products and how they are all utilizing XRP. Last but not least, the gentleman goes on to ask this lady, does this all lead to a high XRP price? She blushes, she smiles, she ignores the question because clearly she can't answer it. But if it wasn't going to be a yes, she would have said no, which she did not. So I'll leave you guys here with this perspective. You get your own vibes off of it, but listen to what he asks. I love this question, and I love the way that she reacted to this. Kind of made her a little bit uncomfortable, as if she knew what is coming down the pipeline in the near future.
Does that mean that we could potentially see some surge in the price of XRP?
So we're quite focused on building the utility of XRP. We're super aligned to that goal for sure, but it's a
difficult task to say. Okay, let's move it away. Let's
move
away.
Defining the price.
Okay, I'm gonna. It's a difficult task to say. Okay, let's
move
it away. Let's move away.
Defining the price.
Okay, I'm gonna go to some.
So I love the little cynical smile that she offers at the end, right? She can't answer that question, obviously, but the fact that he asked that question on stage put her on the spot, and the response that she gave says enough for me. As always, many blessings to you guys. Be cognizant, be aware out there. If anybody's interested in learning how we are getting our digital assets to work for us, including digital assets like XRP, as the DeFi ecosystem matures on the XRPL, head over to CYPRXtrading.com. We would love to have you on the team. Tap in with our Wealth 28 Club, where there are step-by-step tutorials showing you guys how we are putting our digital assets to work. With that being said, if you're new here, smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to the platform. Keep in mind that there is a bunch of free material out there. You can follow us over on X, or you can follow us and subscribe on YouTube. As always, many blessings. We do appreciate the love and the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.